Good morning, everybody. This is Laura with Duarte Valley Homestead, and today I want to show you how easy it is to vacuum seal jars using two different methods. One is a cheaper method that would work great off-grid, and the other one is not quite so cheap, but if you happen to have one of these, it makes life a little simpler. So let's get started. Alright, so what we have here today, I have a food saver that I had picked up at Walmart, and it was on sale when I did it. It's the model V3230, 3230. It's basic. It's got the little storage up top. It's got the area where you can seal, and it came with a port accessory, as well as an accessory port on it. So it's not the most simple food saver you can get, but as I said, we got it on sale, and we also had a coupon on the box to use. So if you want to get them really cheap, after I registered this with Food Saver started sending me emails, and at the end of this last year and into the beginning of this year, they had some amazing sales that made this look expensive, and that was on sale with a coupon for like $10 or $15 off. So check out the Food Saver website, especially around the end of the year, beginning of the new year, because they were selling some of their really fancy models half off. It was insane. I'm sitting there going, oh, I should have waited. All right, enough about that. The next method we'll use, because this runs on electricity, is not quite so cheap. And these you do have to buy separately. These are your jar sealers. I actually bought these before I had a food saver, and I got them off Amazon. I think I spent around $20 for both of them together. I got the wide mouth jar sealer and the regular jar sealer. And after purchasing that, I knew I couldn't afford the food saver at the time, so I picked up from Harbor Freight. Let's see, what all can you see on this? This is a Automotive Bleed Kit. It's a hand vacuum pump that you can use in your car to bleed your brakes or whatever you need to do. But it does have the vacuum capability. I think I got that for about $20 on sale. They have cheaper ones, but I liked everything that came with this. I've already set this up, and today is actually the first day I've used it. I already tested it once, but all I did was I took the main part, which is this. I took a tube and put it on and found one of the tips. It comes with quite a few tips. Found one of the tips that would fit in the top of the jar sealers. So this is a lot cheaper. If you were to buy this straight out at the store, it's about $120. Not on sale, no coupons. And then another $20 for these. You're spending about $140. For this and these, it was $40. You save yourself $100. You also save yourself on the cost of electricity, and it's fairly quick and simple. So what you're going to do, here's a jar. You're going to want to make sure that this is cleaned off, especially if you're vacuum sealing a jar with sugar in it. You're going to want to make sure that that's cleaned off and that you don't have stuff around the rim here. That's it. You don't need the lids. I've actually taken all the lids off because today my project is vacuum sealing everything, because I've been meaning to do it and putting it off, and figured, hey, this would make an excellent video since I've already set everything up. So what you do is there's this little blue rubber ring in here. Comes out fairly easy. What you're going to do is you're going to put this all the way down on your jar. Regular mouth, wide mouth, whichever one. To do this using the brake bleeder, lovely little hand vacuum pump, all you do, and I'm not very good at this. This is, as I said, this is my first time vacuum sealing. And what you're going to do is you're going to start pumping this until the little gauge, see the little gauge here? Until this gauge doesn't go up anymore. So I think it stops at about close to 17. Depending on your hand strength and everything else, it might be a lot quicker for you. Okay, I've got it up. To about 17, 18. Oops, don't want to knock that over. You're going to pull this out. You can hear it released a bunch of air. And then you're going to pull this off. If you didn't do it right, it's going to take your lid off with it. So, as you can see, this is sealed very well. And listen. That provided amazing seal. It did not take very long at all to do. Fairly cheap and effective using a brake bleeder that I picked up at Harbor Freight for $20. As I said, they've got some that are cheaper. And Harbor Freight always has coupons and stuff, so if you sign up for them, they can send you flyers with like 20% off, and they have sales all the time. So really cheap, really easy. Okay, so now my lid's off again. We'll show you how to do the electric one. Which, by the way, the electric one is a lot louder, so I apologize in advance. On the side, you have a lever that keeps this locked. In order to operate it, you have to lock it down, and it sets it up. Make sure that your tube for vacuum sealing is pushed in all the way in the accessory port, or this is not going to work. So once it's put in the accessory port, you put the other side here, and you hit vacuum and seal. Once it's done vacuuming, you're going to hit cancel because you're not sealing anything, so why waste the heat element? So, here we go. So yes, that is louder and more expensive, but if you happen to have one of these because you freeze a lot of your own meat and everything else, it comes in handy, and you can get the Food Saver make your own bags a lot cheaper. I found an off-brand at Sportsman's Warehouse so much cheaper than the actual Food Saver brand. Okay, we're going to take, you have to take this accessory out to break the vacuum on here. Otherwise, you're going to be fighting your jar. So, you can hear it release the air. You're going to pull this off. And again, it's got an awesome seal on here. Listen to that. Oops, don't listen to that. Here, let's try again. Hear that? The vacuum let go and everything else. And what's nice is, even if you have lids that are a little beat up, it still creates a vacuum. Now I'm going to tell you, this is great for your dry goods. Absolutely wonderful for your dry goods that you want to preserve longer. I've got baking chips. I've got rice. I've got sugar and nuts that I don't want to go rancid. Also got beans. So dry goods, this is awesome for. You can also do noodles and stuff like this. You can also oven can, do a hot can, although adding heat to stuff, from everything I've read, And this is what I've read. You might have found a different study somewhere else, but from what I've read, heat sealing stuff can break down nutrients. So keep that in mind. I have not had a problem with bugs or anything growing out of my beans or my rice that I have in jars. Some people say, oh, you want to either freeze it before you do this, or you want to hot can it before you do, before you seal up your dry goods. If you have a problem with bugs getting into your rice and your beans at stores and you purchase them that way, then maybe, freeze your stuff to kill off any eggs or larvae that might be in there. But here, I have not had that problem. Now, if you want to can wet foods, apples and stuff like that, you're going to want to use either a water bath canner or a pressure canner. This is not a substitute for canning, for heat canning. And it even says that on the jar lid. Let's see. I'm not sure how much of this that you're getting. See, this process is not a substitute for heat canning. So things that you would normally heat can, you are not going to want to vacuum seal. But for items like this, go ahead, vacuum seal them. And if you use a lot of white chocolate chips, then it's probably not going to benefit you as much to vacuum seal your jars. But if you only get into your baking stuff every once in a while, like you don't use a lot of white chocolate chips, you use them once in a great blue moon, then that's probably a good idea to vacuum seal them at that point, just to preserve the freshness of them. And so, as anybody knows, your chocolate chips can dry out, and I'm trying to find the right word for this, to the point where that they almost turn to powder. They kind of dissolve, and you see it a lot with the darker chocolate chips and everything than you do with the white chocolate chips, because quite frankly, these really aren't true chocolate. But on stuff like your semi-sweet chocolate chips, you can tell these are two different colors, and the scary thought is I bought these from what's on the bottom from the store before I bought these. So these were, after I bought these ones. So these were newer than those ones, and for some reason they've already started kind of turning white, and so I want to vacuum seal them to preserve them. I only noticed it after I had both of them in the jar, and I'm sitting there going, oh, look at that color difference. So guys, I hope this was helpful for you, and as I said, if you have a brake bleed kit that you find cheap, either at Harbor Freight, Walmart, whatever, and then you pick up a couple of these separate, that can be a very cheap option for vacuum sealing. If you are fortunate enough to have an electric vacuum sealer, that can make it just a little bit faster, but as you see, it didn't take a whole lot of time, but I only did that on a little jar. I would hate to see how long it would take on a half-gallon jar to do it all by hand. But in the event I had no electricity, or if I was trying to be quieter, in like a SHTF situation, this is much quieter, will draw a lot less attention. Okay, guys, if you have any questions, comments, let me know, and thank you very much for watching. If you like my channel, please subscribe. I appreciate every view, and I'm just trying to share the knowledge I've learned with anybody else who searches and watches video after video on topics like I do, so that you can get it down, because people might do things a little differently, I saw one of these take so long on a different video. It was probably the $10 brake bleeder. But as you can see, it's got a nice hose on it, so a lot thicker than that hose even. So these things come in handy. It's all knowledge about preserving your own food. If you dehydrate your own food, you can put your dehydrated goods in here and vacuum seal it. It pulls out the air, so you're less likely to need oxygen absorbers, which can be expensive. So, yeah, let me know what you think. Thank you for watching. Bye. There's all my cans. All right.